A child with a bloated belly, ribs visible through his skin, arms and legs so fragile they remind you of branches off a tree, flies around his face. What does this description remind you of? Can you recall a day when you were flipping through the channels and you happened to stop on a commercial where this child just described appeared on the television screen? Now let's think about yourself. What if you weren't offered formal education? Yet, let's think more narrowly. What if you weren't offered food, water, or place to live? With family to care over you in a developing country with So posed by poverty, I want to identify the issues posed by poverty and identify the satisfaction and realization of sponsoring a child in need. As stated by the Webster's Dictionary, poverty is the state of one who lacks usually or socially accepted amount of money or material possession, the range of extreme want of necessities, and the absence of insufficient materials. There are 2.2 billion children in the world. 1 out of 2 would be living in poverty. So it makes 1 billion children living in poverty. From an article written from Enoch Shaw entitled Poverty, Facts and Statistics, another scholarly article from Nellie Stromkos, What Poverty Does to Girls' Education, the intersection of class, gender, and ethnicity in Latin America, states that young girls are forced to marry young and fulfill household duties due to the uneducated societies that they live in. Poverty poses many obstacles on these children. Many children will seize various illnesses, end up with no families in orphanages, but ultimately left hopeless. Due to the circumstances that poverty tributes, they simply are waiting for someone, anyone, to help them. What if you could do to answer their wishes? Next, I would describe ways that you can help change the continuing issue of assisting and sponsoring a child. There are two main ones, Feed the Children and World Vision. According to Feed the Children website, was established in 1979 as a nonprofit relief-based organization that helps developing countries providing food, shelter, medicine, and overall materials that the countries do not have access to in times of war, natural disasters, and extreme poverty. Last year alone, Feed the Children delivered 133 million pounds of food and necessity items to children and families over 100 countries. The other organization is World Vision. It's a Christian organization working with children and the families and communities to tackling the causes of poverty. Through these two organizations, you can sponsor the child. Sponsoring a child is basically providing food, water, and education, just $1 a day. As we see many fast food restaurants, such as McDonald's, with dollar menus, you can buy a McChicken, and then you can think, I could have just sponsored a child for that day. Many of you are probably thinking, well, how's $1 going to go very far? $1 equals 8 Guatemalan cuetes, 13 Ethiopian beers, 78 Kenyan siblings, 905 Congan francs, and 4,400 Cambodian reais. So, through these, you can when you sign up to sponsor a child, you will receive background information, a photo, and information on where you can send them letters so you can establish a connection with the child that you're helping. You also receive an annual report, tangible evidence that you are making a difference in the child's life. So $1 will go a long way. So now that you're thinking, this is too good to be true. Well, I interviewed my best friend's parents. They came to America in 1983. They came from a refugee camp in Somalia, and the mother, who was here for about 6 years, came across the commercial Feed the Children, and she built up the courage and called because the stuff that she saw in the commercial reminded her of what she left back home, the people with poverty, the people infected with malaria and HIV. So she called and they told her it's $1 a day, and she said, I have plenty of change around the house. Why can't I spare $1 for these children? But instead of giving $1, my best friend's family gave $3, and they sponsored the child for an entire year. And they keep on getting information of how he went through school, and he is now married, and he has 2 kids, and he's actually a grocery owner in Duwa, Ethiopia. And my best friend's father saved up enough money to go visit him in 2004, and he said it was an incredible experience. So can you imagine this young man's life without the generosity of one family giving it to another family? So I challenge you to log on to the Feed the Children webpage and just read some of the descriptions of the children. I'm sure you'll be attached to one of the descriptions. So $1 will go a long way. So next time you're thinking of buying those pair of shoes, or girls a new dress that you have to have, think of how you could spend that money and sponsor that child for a month. Or the next time the new iPad comes out, or a new BlackBerry, you could have sponsored a child for a year. So, in the great words of Michael Jackson, who am I to be blind, pretending not to see their needs? So go start with that man or woman in the mirror, not just to help better yourself, but the betterment of the world. Thank you.
All right, Zach, what did you think?
She had a really good opening that really got my attention. And right after that, she kind of petered out a little bit, but she did a really good job recovering and getting back on track. She had really good sources for both the website, and it took me a minute to figure out when she was comparing the money from the different countries. But apart from that, I liked it.
Okay. I like the introduction also, and I thought the conclusion was pretty nice. You need to have a little bit clearer structure in the preview of the speech and follow that a little bit more effectively. I like some of the examples that you have. I think the story of the family whose father ends up visiting in, was it Somalia? Ethiopia was a very interesting one, and if we'd gotten a little bit more detail about that visit, I think that would have really added some emotional impact to it. You got some good guilt that you're using there at the end to try and motivate people. I thought that was pretty nice. The information about the number of kids who need help is fine. I think you do want to tell us a little bit more about the 2 organizations and how effective they are, how many kids they help each day, you know, how long-term turnaround or what kind of investment you're making, and how it can be improving. I think that would strengthen the argument a little bit. Presentation, you seem really unfamiliar with your material, a little bit like it's you're reading it for maybe the 2nd or 3rd time instead of knowing the material and just talking to us, and I don't think that helps your credibility a lot. All right, thank you.